everybody. I'm assuming we're recording. Let's see. Yeah, we're recording good. So we're up in the mountains, coming up towards the rock pile. We're going to take 60 up to TWO and do the first kind of shakedown of the new Streetfighter V2. Fiddle with some of the suspension settings myself, but I still need next Saturday. We're going to get the first service done, which is why I need to get a shit ton of miles on this quickly. So I can get that service done, knock that out, and then get the suspension dialed in. I've dialed about as well as I can get it based on my feel. But I wanted to come up. Oh, God, there's so many sightseers up here today. Going painfully slow. Please don't go left. Please don't go left. Please don't go left. Fuck, you went left. Corvette, go right. Go right. Yes. All right. So we're going to see how this thing feels up here. Go to TWO, we're not going to eat there. Go say hi to some people, and then we're going to go up to Hiawassee. Oh, Christ. A bike towing stuff. Back there will use his head and not pass. I was already started to. I was like, kind of a dick move, but I'm like, alright, you know what? I need to get up here and play. Ooh, and this person does not know what they're doing. You see them freaked for that turn. Alright, so how does this feel? Pretty goddamn good. This thing is a little ripper. Yeah, get the revs up, man, and it pulls. First couple rides I was like, oh, I might have made a mistake. Coming from the MT-10, I was like, God, this thing does not feel like it's got enough power to keep me happy. It does, you just gotta ride it a little differently. Gotta rev it up, and it will reward you with a good bit of poke up there. Gotta ride it a little bit more like a 600, which is weird for a twin that's making almost 1,000 cc's. But this is the Super Quattro engine. Quattro, Super Quattro, I don't know, whatever. It's super something. It's just a super motor. Suspension feels good. Feels better than it was out of the box. I'm glad I went through and fiddled with it a bit. The tires feel good. These are Rosso 4s, not Super Courses. We're also in that weird 180/60 on the back, which is good for being on the side of the tire, not so good for tire choices. My favorite tire is not offered in that size. So I may just stay on these. This might be those guys from Dahlonega. Dude, get your ass off that seat. Ran out of revs there. Running a good pace for a passenger. Probably pissing a few people off today, but I want to have a little bit of fun. And these guys are still driving staggered in a fucking in the turns. Ugh. Don't know how to ride. Yeah, just a rolling fucking roadblock. Get around him on straight away, I think. Yeah, right here. Just letting us know. Slow it down. And it's right at the spot I usually nail it and go. We'll let him get the ticket. Here's what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna let them go up the road a ways. Yeah, it's a shame this is such a fun road, but man, we've already had people flashing at us about cops and nice. Why are these guys going so slow? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of police presence up here. Maybe we'll get some decent ride in here. Oh, those tar snakes are brutal. Spoke too soon. Every time. It just doesn't. Some days you probably just stay home. Alright. One car's getting out of the way. So I just gotta pass the other guy that can't seem to go around turns without going over the double yellows. We will just pass him quickly. Goes to Helen, so this will be a fun road. I think that's the Jeep from the restaurant. No, it's like 5 minutes before we did. How the hell I caught up? Maybe they stopped for gas. Alright, we're gonna go left on the 197 south. That's a good road. Good, thank you. Save me the trouble having to pass you. Miles we got on here. $375 miles. Probably get to about 4.25 by the time I get home. Go out after work a couple nights this week. 30 miles a loop. Will be golden. awfully bit of road. really love this bike. Suspension's not even set up for me, but clearly you can run a, pretty decent pace. It's quick as you're going to run on a public road with shit tons of driveways around it anyway. We have passed so many cops today. That's why we came over to the Hiawassee side, because back over by Blood Mountain, TWO, Wolfpen Gap, all of our normal loops, they were everywhere. Don't know why. We saw tons of people getting pulled over. Cars and bikes. Yeah, this is a very enjoyable bike. I'm gonna have to tweak the bars. It's tweaking my neck just a little bit, so I may have to rotate it up. I rotated it down to make it a little bit more sporty, but I might want to go in the other direction and see if that helps. But the power is plenty. Yeah, the MT10 is more comfortable on my neck. I'm really hoping this doesn't get to be a problem. The good thing is that when this bike, I can, with the triple clamps there, I have all this room. I don't have a fairing. Like with the Tracer 9 GT I had, I couldn't get comfortable on that. And my options for bars were limited because it had that sort of half fairing, and the bars, if I tried moving them too much, were banging into it. But here it's wide open, so as long as it doesn't contact the tank, you know, everything up here turns with it. So the headlight, the forks, the speedometer, gauge cluster, all that stuff moves with the bike. So I can put another bar on here and see what people recommend for comfort. Hopefully I can just rotate this one and make it a little more dead possum. But we'll see. This thing absolutely outhandles the MT10 on the tight switchbacky stuff. I think on open, you know, big sweepers, not enough of a difference between them. And the MT10 having a bit more grunt could be the faster one there. But I'll tell you, this thing's lighter, so it stops quicker. It's got better brakes, so it stops quicker. And it definitely, when we're going back and forth, left to right, it's way less workout on this thing. You just flick it into a turn, flick it back and forth. It's very, very nimble. It feels kind of like I'm on the ZX6R in that regard, which it should. They're around the same weight, around the same wheelbase. But it's got a bit more everything else than the ZX6R. More power, suspension's a bit better, brakes are way better, and in stock form you're making 15 more horsepower at the wheel, a good bit more torque. Geared a little, actually they're both, the ZX6R is geared a little low compared to other 600s, so they're probably comparable in that regard. In all, a lovely bike. So decent ride today, and that the weather's nice and got to put some miles on. One of the more boring rides. Didn't get a lot of video. It's going to be very short. Just of a couple little areas. We got to play a little bit. But next week we'll do the 600-mile service, get the dash reprogrammed, all that crap. And I am going to truly drive it like I stole it at that point. And then we've got suspension set up from friends up at GMD CompuTrack. So we'll get that done on Saturday, get a little ride and hit the mountains while we're up there, weather permitting. And then we'll focus on the rest of the mods. What to do about exhaust and or tuning. I really am torn, because I'm always like, oh, maybe I should leave the stock exhaust. The stock exhaust does sound good. And when I have a Panigale 959, which is what this is, just a kind of slightly tuned version of that, I never did do the exhaust. No, I only kept it for like 6-7 months, but I tuned it and left the exhaust stock. It really, it sounded good enough, and I didn't want to spend $1,800 on exhaust just to make it sound a little better. God damn, my allergies are kicking my ass. That's the other thing. The Dayquil I took this morning wore off, and now my eyes are watering and itchy, sneezing. Not a lot of fun talking, so... Anyway, that's all we got for this weekend. We'll talk to you everybody later.